Good evening, and welcome back to Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, as it gets closer and closer to the end of November and creeping into the month of December, it's about that time. That's right. The 2025 Game Awards are a little less than a month away, and the nominees have been released for multiple categories for this year's Game Awards. The Game Awards will take place December 11th. So that's the award show for this year. The voting and everything is open for those that haven't voted. You can now vote on the main site. But wanted to get on here and go over each category and go over the nominees as well. So, got quite a lot to get through. So, just a FYI, I don't have graphics for each category, but for most of them. So, just a FYI, just a heads up. But we're gonna go ahead and start from the bottom. Um, let's see. Now, just a heads up. Uh, they normally do a Player's Voice award, but they haven't announced any nominees or anything like that until much later. So that may be one that needs to be revisited later in case they do that, because they did that the last 2 or so years. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to start with Best Esports Team. Let's take a look at the nominees for Best Esports Team. All right. You have Gen G of League of Legends. You have NRG from Valorant. You have Team Falcons representing Dota 2. Team Liquid PH representing Mobile Legends Bang Bang. And Team Vitality representing Counter-Strike. I don't really follow like a lot of esports like that, especially with those particular games. Although, I've played some Counter Strike 2 off and on. Still have yet to play Valorant. I should probably give that a try. Not a fan of League of Legends. Mobile Legends Bang Bang, never heard of it. Played Dota 2 once forever ago. But I feel like Team Vitality and Team Liquid PH is usually nominated on a yearly basis for this. So I'm not too surprised to see those two teams on here. But yeah, but not necessarily a category that I'm really excited about. Mainly because I'm not really familiar with either of these teams because, I'm not really big into the esports like that. At least not for these particular games, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good, it's all good. Okay. Now we're going to go from Best Esports Team to Best Esports Athlete. Let's take a look at the nominees for Best Esports Athlete. All right, you have Brock Sommerhalder, representing Valorant. You have Chovy, which is Jung Ji Hoon, representing League of Legends. Forsaken, that's Jason Susanto, representing Valorant. Kakeru, who's Kakeru Watanabe, representing Street Fighter. Menard, that's Saul Leonardo, representing Street Fighter. And Zaiwu, Matteo Herbach, please forgive me if I butchered that name, Counter-Strike 2. Now, to be honest with you, the only names that I'm familiar with are Kakeru and Menard from Street Fighter, of course, for obvious reasons. I mean, I play Street Fighter, so I really don't know how big of a name the other players are, but Kakeru and Menard are really the only two that I'm familiar with. So yeah, I do find it pretty interesting that you got two athletes representing Valorant and two athletes representing Street Fighter. I find that kind of interesting. But hey, but like I said, I don't follow esports, especially for Valorant, League of Legends, and Counter Strike 2. I'll dabble into some Street Fighter though, because at least that's entertaining, especially checking out like Evo and stuff like that. At least that's entertaining. I'll do that. But that's pretty much it. Okay, moving on. We're going to take a look at the nominees of Best Esports Game. All right, let's take a look. Best Esports Game. You have Counter Strike 2 from Valve, Dota 2 from Valve, League of Legends from Riot, Mobile Legends Bang Bang from Moonton, and Valorant from Riot. As I've said before, out of the games on this list, the only games that I've played are Counter Strike 2, Dota 2, and League of Legends, even though I'm not a fan of League of Legends. But I don't necessarily follow these games enough to really know what's, the most popular or the best one. I mean, I typically hear a lot about Counter Strike 2, League of Legends, and Valorant. If you ask me, something tells me that League will probably win, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about Mobile Legends Bang Bang to really know how strong of a contender that game is, but I don't know. If you would ask me, League of Legends is probably going to win. I don't know. What do y'all think? I honestly don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't know. Alrighty. I don't have a graphic for this next category, but this one's Content Creator of the Year. The nominees are Kadrel, Kai Sanat, Moist Critical, Sakuramiko, and The Burnt Peanut. The Burnt Peanut. That's funny. I really don't know any of these content creators other than Kai Sanat for obvious reasons. The Burnt Peanut, that's a funny name though. I wouldn't shoot. I might just vote for the Burnt Peanut just because it's a funny name. But I don't know how popular the others are, but I mean Kai Sanat's pretty popular, so I mean honestly I wouldn't be too surprised if he ended up winning. But like I said, I don't know any of the others well enough to really know how strong of contenders they are. But it is what it is. And just, that's all I can really say. But, okay. Let's look at the next one. I don't have a graphic for this one, but the next category is Most Anticipated Game. Most Anticipated Game. This is usually, really a category that gets a lot of focus for obvious reasons. But the nominees are, for Most Anticipated Game, 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4. Well, some understandable choices there. I I mean, what I saw from 007 First Light definitely got me interested. Definitely a game. I might not get that game at launch, but I could see myself owning that. I really liked what I saw from that. Not really into Grand Theft Auto like that, but I can understand Grand Theft Auto 6 being a strong contender to win this, despite the number of delays it's gotten. So, honestly, don't be surprised if that ends up winning. Uh, Marvel's Wolverine, of course, that's from Insomniac Games, and the last trailer they showed of that looked really, really cool and looked pretty brutal as well. But considering that Insomniac has done so well with their previous games, such as the Spider-Man games, um, I have a great amount of faith that Marvel's Wolverine will do really well. Resident Evil Requiem has gotten a lot of buzz, especially ever since its initial trailer and then showing off some gameplay. That's gotten a lot of buzz. So that's a pretty strong contender. And then The Witcher 4. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen footage of The Witcher 4, but I mean, it's a great franchise. So I mean, I can understand why that one is on the list. To be honest, if you ask me, probably either Resident Evil Requiem or Grand Theft Auto 6 will end up winning. I think one of those two ends up winning most anticipated game. But we'll see. We'll see. But it's a good list. It's a good list. It is a good list. Okay. I don't believe I have a graphic for this next one. No, I don't. Okay. Next category, we're going to do Best Multiplayer. So, Best Multiplayer Game. The nominees are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. To be honest with you, I mean, I've heard some good things about Arc Raiders. Haven't played it yet. Battlefield 6. I mean, I haven't really played a Battlefield game. I think the most recent one I played was 4. So I haven't really played Battlefield in a hot minute. Split Fiction got really good reviews and whatnot. Never could really get into Elden Ring, but I hear this Elden Ring Night Rain has gotten a lot of buzz. Peak, I don't really know much about. But, I mean, I could see probably Split Fiction winning. But, I don't know. I really can't give a legit opinion on this category because, I mean, I don't really play any of those games, so I can't really give a legit opinion. But that's all I can really say. Okay, this next one I do have a graphic for. Alright, this is for Best Sports/Racing Game. Here are the nominees. You have EA Sports FC 26, EA Canada, EA Romania, EA. You have F1 25 from Codemasters, EA. You have Mario Kart World, of course that's Nintendo. You have Rematch, that's Slowcap, Kepler Interactive. And Sonic Racing Crossworlds, of course that's Sonic Team, Sega. To be honest with you, this is kind of a hard one. This is a hard one to pick. Because, I mean, I've heard Sonic Racing Crossworlds got really great reviews. I mean, I haven't played it, but I heard it got really great reviews. Of course, I have Mario Kart World on Switch 2. Fun game. Played with friends and even did a was in a tournament at my job for Mario Kart World. That was pretty intense. But I mean, to be honest, I mean I don't know how well rematch is done, but I don't know. Something tells me it's going to come down to either Mario Kart World or Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. But like I said, I don't really play any soccer games like that, or many racing games outside of Mario Kart World and Choco GP. So that's my best guess for that. Is either both of those, either Mario Kart World or Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. But that's all I can really say. Okay. This next category, interesting lineup, but it'll be pretty obvious who I'm going with. Here are the nominees for Best Sim/Strategy Game. Alright, your nominees are Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles from Square Enix, Jurassic World Evolution 3 from Frontier Developments, Sid Meier's Civilization 7 from Firaxis Games 2K, Tempest Rising, Slipgate Ironworks 3D Realms, The Alters, that's 11-Bit Studios, and 2 Point Museum from 2 Point Studios Sega. I mean, y'all know me well. For obvious reasons, of course my vote's going to be Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. But it is really cool that it's actually a nominee for this category. Although I probably would have put that in the best RPG, but I can understand why it's in the best sim strategy game, because it is technically a strategy RPG. So I can understand why it's in this category. Sid Meier's Civilization. I mean, the Civilization franchise, is a very strong franchise when it comes to real-time strategy games. So, honestly, that's a pretty strong competitor. I don't really know much about the other games, but y'all know Final Fantasy Tactics is getting my vote. Would be awesome if it ended up winning. I don't think it's going to win, but would be cool if it did. So, we'll see. Would be nice. Would be really, really nice. Alrighty. Let's go to the next category. Alright, next category is Best Family Game. Best Family Game. And here are the nominees. Alright, you got Donkey Kong Bonanza from Nintendo. You got Lego Party from SMG Studio Fictions. You got Lego Voyagers from Light Brick Studios and Annapurna Interactive. You have Mario Kart World from Nintendo, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds from Sonic Team Sega, and Split Fiction from Hazelight Studios EA. I mean, I'm not so sure if the Lego games really have a strong chance. My guess is it's probably going to either be Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, or Split Fiction. Donkey Kong Bonanza, actually, it might be more of a threat than I think. It might actually be more of a threat than I think. But I can't really pick one, to be honest with you. I really can't pick one. Yeah, I can't really pick one. I just don't think any of the Lego games will win. But yeah, that one's really tough to pick. And I mean, I own Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza on Switch 2, so those are really the only two games I can vouch for. But as far as who I think should win, I really don't have a clear cut answer. Okay. This next category I know has created quite some discussions and whatnot, and I definitely want to go in a little bit. So, these are the nominees for Best Fighting Game. It comes down to 2XKO from Riot Games, Capcom Fighting Collection 2 from Capcom, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves from SNK Corporation, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Digital Eclipse Atari, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage from Ryoga Gotoku Studios, Sega. Well, I'll say this. I mean, for obvious reasons, I'm a vote for Virtua Fighter because, I'm a VF guy, so that's going to get my vote by default. But here's the thing. I know a lot of people are disappointed with this lineup of nominees for Best Fighting Game. But at the same time, what the heck did y'all really expect? Especially for this year. What did y'all really expect? I mean, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, that's obvious one. That's an obvious one. 2XKO, I believe, just came out. Capcom Fighting Collection, it's a collection of games. Same thing with Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Yeah, that's a collection of games. And Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage is just another iteration of VF5. I get the frustrations, but like I said, what did y'all expect? There wasn't really many fighting games that came out this year, or like any new ones. You know? Really the only new games that came out were Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, and 2XKO. 2XKO, the recent one. So, it's not like we have a whole lot to work with this year. You know what I mean? Unless they want to count, like, DLC add-ons and stuff like that, then it really opens the door. But there weren't that many fighting games that came out this year, so I really don't know why folks are surprised at the nominees. The nominees kind of make sense for what came out this year, 2025. So folks can get mad and wonder all they want, but it's like, this list of nominees is not that shocking when you chalk it up to what came out this year. So, and these games came out this year, and it's like, the two out of this category that were legit brand new or City of the Wolves and 2XKO. So I guess if folks wanted to narrow it down to those two, so be it. Now, if you ask me, honestly, I know I'm a vote for Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. I don't think that's going to win. To be honest with you, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is probably going to win. Because I think it's going to come down to a legit new fighting game between 2XKO and Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Virtua Fighter gets my vote, but, it wouldn't surprise me if one of those two ended up winning Best Fighting Game. So, that's all I can really say about that, but as far as the list of nominees, I'm not really surprised. So, take it for what you will. Okay. Okay. So I don't have a graphic for this next one. We're going to look at nominees for Best RPG. So it comes down to Avowed, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, The Outer Worlds 2, and Monster Hunter Wilds. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Expedition 33. I don't own it or anything. I don't own any of these games, but I heard a lot of great things about that game. Monster Hunter Wilds being on there, not surprised. I figured a Monster Hunter game was going to be on there. I mean, I can't say it's a weak or strong list because I haven't played any of those games. So I reserve judgment. But something tells me Expedition 33 will probably win just because I've been hearing so much about that. So that's all I can really say. That's all I can really say. All right. Let's see. All right. Next category, which I don't have a graphic for, Best Action Adventure Game. So, Best Action Adventure Game, the nominees are Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Split Fiction. This one's tough. Really the only game I can vouch for is Ghost of Yotei, being that I own Ghost of Yotei. Although Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which, got via Game Pass. Been hearing a lot of great things about Hollow Knight Silksong, so that definitely I think is a strong competitor. Split Fiction, strong competitor. I'm pretty much, me personally, I'm going to go with Ghost of Yotei, but that's a pretty strong list. I think overall that's a strong list. But Ghost of Yotei is going to get my vote, so, All right. So, let's see. No, I don't. Okay. So this next category, which I don't have a graphic for, Best Action Game. The nominees are Battlefield 6, Doom: The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. To be honest, Shinobi's going to get my vote. I'm just really happy to see a Shinobi game as a nominee, to be honest with you. I think that's pretty cool. And while I do, I do have Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4. Well, Ninja Gaiden 4 tech. Yeah, actually, yeah. I do have Ninja Gaiden 4. That's right. I did end up purchasing it. And, of course, Shinobi was a day one buy for me. Part of me is a little surprised Ninja Gaiden Ragebound wasn't a nominee, but Shinobi was. Which I guess I chalk it up to Shinobi may have done better in reviews and sales than Ragebound, but I have both games, so. I would like to see Shinobi win. Would be cool, but I don't think it's going to win. Ninja Gaiden 4 or Hades 2 probably has the best chance, but Shinobi gets my vote. Hands down. Shinobi gets my vote. Alrighty. Next one. Best VR AR game. The nominees are Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcan Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. All I know is you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to play Alien Rogue Incursion via VR. Ain't no freaking way. No way, man. No way. But I can't really say a whole lot about VR AR. I mean, I don't own any VR devices or anything like that, so I may play a VR game like at a gaming convention or something like that, but just I appreciate what VR AR can do, but it's not really anything that special to me personally. So I'm pretty much neutral. I'm neutral on that. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's go to the next category. This is for Best Mobile Game. So, nominees for Best Mobile Game: Destiny Rising, Persona 5 The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Umasamumi Pretty Derby, I hope I said that right, and Wuthering Waves. I'm actually surprised Persona 5 The Phantom X was a nominee because I heard it got terrible reviews. So that one's kind of a surprise. Yeah, that one's kind of a surprise. I mean, I don't really know enough about the others. I mean, I've heard of Wuthering Waves, but, never played it or anything like that. So, yeah. If anything, I'm just shocked that Persona 5 The Phantom X was on there, because I could have sworn it got terrible reviews, but apparently it's received a nomination, so must mean something. All right, let's see. Okay, next up we have the nominees for Best Debut Indie Game. Now, just a heads up, one of them was Megabunk, but it got removed based on the request of the game developer. So, the nominees officially are Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Despiolet, hope I said that right, and Dispatch. Something tells me Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is probably going to win, but I've been hearing good things about Blueprints as well. And Blueprints actually has gotten quite a good amount of love when you think about it. But, we'll see what happens. But yeah. So a little bit smaller list, but still. All right. Let's go to the next category. Best Independent Game. Nominees are Absalom, Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Shoot. To be honest with you, a number of these could probably get it. Hades 2, Hollow Knight, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Blueprints. Shoot. Honestly, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick. Shoot, that one could go to any of those, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's really all I got. That's all I got on that. But Anyway, okay, I do have a graphic for this next one. So, these are the nominees for Best Community Support. Here we go. You have Baldur's Gate 3 of Larian Studios. You have Final Fantasy 14 of Square Enix. Fortnite of Epic Games. Helldivers 2 of Arrowhead's Game Studios, Sony Interactive Entertainment. And No Man's Sky from Hello Games. To be honest with you, me personally, as long as Fortnite doesn't win, I'll be happy, but something tells me Fortnite probably will win. Haven't played Final Fantasy 14 in a long while. I do kind of miss playing that with friends, but lately I don't, know any friends that's currently playing that. So it's a good list, but honestly, I've never been a fan of Fortnite. But I got a feeling Fortnite probably will win. So, but who knows? Maybe Final Fantasy 14 can win, but something tells me Fortnite's going to end up winning. That's just my honest thoughts. Okay. Let's see. Okay, no. All right. This next category, Best Ongoing Game. The nominees are Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Haven't played much of Marvel Rivals. That's one of the more recent ones that I played out of this category. Don't really know how strong of a chance Marvel Rivals has, but I mean, it's got some strong competition for sure, especially Final Fantasy XIV and Fortnite. But once again, I'll be happy as long as Fortnite doesn't win, because I can't stand Fortnite. Bump Fortnite. Okay. Next, we're going to go over the games for Impact. So, games for Impact. The nominees are Consume Me, Despillook, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. I'm not familiar with any of these titles, so I'm going to keep an open mind. But that's your list for games for Impact. This next one is a really big one. This is your innovation and accessibility. Of course, each of these games have some really great ideas, of course, dedicated to the disabled. So definitely happy for each of these games on here, because it's a big deal. Any way that they can help the disabled to be able to enjoy games without pretty much compromising anything is great. So here are your nominees for innovation and accessibility. All right, you got Assassin's Creed Shadows from Ubisoft. You got Atomfall from Rebellion. Doom: The Dark Ages from ID Software, Bethesda Softworks. EA Sports, FC26, EA Canada, EA Romania, EA. And South of Midnight, Compulsion Games, Xbox Game Studios. I mean, I own Assassin's Creed Shadows, so that's really the only one that I can vouch for. But like I said, this is one of those categories where whichever one wins doesn't matter to me. It's aimed at a big cause, so definitely hope for the best, and that not just these games but other games out there, you know, also have different types of features, dedicated to really helping the disabled be able to enjoy these games. So it's always really cool to see. Okay, we're going to keep it going. Best performance. Here are your nominees for best performance. All right, you have Ben Starr from Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Charlie Cox, same game. You have Erika Ishii from Ghost of Yotei. You have Jennifer English from Claire Obscure Expedition 33. You have Konatsu Kato from Silent Hill F. And Troy Baker, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Oof. Dang. 3 nominees. Voice actors for Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Man. Although Charlie Cox is a pretty well-known name. Troy Baker is a well-known name. Erika Ishii, I'm very familiar with, considering I remember she used to host a show called Game Engine with Trisha Hirschberger, and there was somebody else before her that she partnered up with as well, but I forgot her name. But yeah, Erika Ishii, definitely has a voice acting background and a media host background as well, and she can play a mean violin. So, and she voices the main character of Ghost of Yotei. Yeah. I mean, Erika Ishii gets my vote, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Ben Starr, or not Ben Starr, Charlie Cox or Troy Baker ends up winning. But it's a good lineup. It's a good lineup. But Erika Ishii gets my vote. Alrighty. See, the next category is Best Audio Design. So, going to nominees for Best Audio Design. Nominees are Battlefield 6 from Battlefield Studios EA, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive, Kepler Interactive, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach from Kojima Productions, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Ghost of Yotei, Sucker Punch Productions, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and Silent Hill F, Neoboards Entertainment, Konami. I mean, the only one I can vouch for is Ghost of Yotei because I own it. The others I don't, so the biasness is coming out. But, yeah, I mean, don't really have a whole lot to say, but, Ghost of Yotei is going to get my vote for obvious reasons. Okay. Next is Best Music Score. Best Music Score, or Best Score and Music, I'm sorry. Nominees for Best Score and Music: Hollow Knight Silk Song, Hades 2, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2 On the Beach. Ooh, I feel like Hollow Knight has a really strong chance with that. Same with Hades 2. Oof. Yeah, that one's hard to pick. That one's really hard to pick. Yeah, that one's really hard to pick. But honestly, Either of those on that list could win, but something tells me Hollow Knight probably will end up winning it. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right. All right, next category, we're going to go with Best Art Direction. Best Art Direction. The nominees are Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Dang, these are pretty much the same exact. Actually, these are the same nominees as for Best Score and Music. Ha! Go figure. Wow. Well, imagine that. Oh man. But, different category though. Different category. I just find that funny. I find that really funny. For art, I mean Hades 2. Hades 2, Ghost of Yote. I mean, honestly, it's another hard one to pick. I mean, the games look great. Yeah, that one's hard to pick. That one's really hard to pick. Yeah. All right. This next one I do have a graphic for. We're going to switch to Best Narrative. Best Narrative. Here are your nominees. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive, Kepler Interactive. Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Kojima Productions, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Ghost of Yote, Sucker Punch Productions, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Warhorse Studios, Deep Silver. And Silent Hill F, Neobirds Entertainment, Konami. So, of course, this is more focused on story. And once again, my bias is going to come out because I'm going to go with Ghost of Yote for obvious reasons. Especially considering, it's from the same folks that did Ghost of Tsushima. And y'all already know how I feel about Ghost of Tsushima if y'all watched my content. So, easy pick for me. Just without really even diving in. Easy pick for me. Okay, this next one, they get very creative. So, here are the nominees for Best Adaptation. You have a Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, The Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell Death Watch, and Until Dawn. Not really a Minecraft fan, never have been. I really like what I saw for what they did with Last of Us Season 2 and also Splinter Cell Death Watch, especially considering it's been a hot minute since I've even played a Splinter Cell game. But, them doing a TV series and movies, I mean, there's always going to be that what if, that sort of kind of iffy feeling because, not every adaptation of a video game into a movie works out well. So, it's understandable. It's definitely understandable. Okay, two more categories. Next up, here are the nominees for Best Game Direction. Best Game Direction comes down to Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, Split Fiction. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty strong list of nominees there for this. So, it'll be interesting to see what wins this, because they're all really good nominees actually. Okay, and then we come down to the big one, the big one, the one that counts the most, and that is the nominees for Game of the Year. Let's take a look. All right. Game of the Year for 2025 comes down to Claire Obscure Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive, Kepler Interactive. Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Kojima Productions, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Nintendo. Hades 2, Supergiant Games. Hollow Knight Silk Song, Team Cherry. Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2, Warhorse Studios, Deep Silver. Donkey Kong Bonanza as a nominee for Game of the Year. That's kind of interesting considering it didn't get nominated much for other categories. And I mean, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 looks like it got double-digit number of nominees. I think 10 or 11. Hades 2 got a handful. Death Stranding 2 got a handful. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting that Donkey Kong Bonanza got nominated. I mean that's cool. I mean, that's cool and all. I didn't expect that one to get nominated for that. Really didn't expect that. But I mean, I don't hate it. Who do I think will win it? I don't know, man. Considering how many nominations Claire Obscure Expedition 33 got, that might be the front runner. That might be the front runner. But probably not a list I would have put together personally, but here we are. Here we are. But yeah, those are your different nominees and categories for the 2025 Game Awards. Like I said, it will take place December 11th. And hopefully I'll be doing a live reaction stream with some friends, kind of like I did last year. Here's hoping. And of course, you can expect performances, new trailers, stuff like that, new announcements. So it's not just an award show. They're going to show off some trailers and all that, like they usually do. And of course, it's hosted by Jeff Keighley, as usual. And of course, you know, it's the end of the year, and what a way to exit 2025 with this Game Awards show, giving out awards and showing new trailers, making new announcements. Cheers to that. Anyway, that's all that I have. I'll post a link in the description to the list of categories and all that. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are about any category, any of the nominees or whatnot. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get some discussions going. And as usual, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For Blitzball Champ Gaming, here on the U to the Tube, my name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening and day tomorrow, and I will see you all in the next video and our live stream. Peace.